shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloaded on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Welcome to another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots. Last night was a hell of a good time. I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully you guys will check out last night's replay if you didn't get to see it. We had our good friend GB3 in the house. And yeah. Party like rock stars, I guess you can say. Kitty Cat.
Yes, sir.
Did he ever message you last night and say, hey, I made it home okay? Because he didn't message me or...
Yes, Blue.
Blue. Oh, he messaged Blue? Nice. Cool. It was just... I don't know, man. It's been one of those days. You know, I woke up, it was dumping snow. And yes, folks, yours truly decided to test ride the couch again last night out here and found out that it gets a little chilly in here, even with the heat. So it's just been one of those, like, I mean, you couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. And I mean, really trying to figure out what the hell to do to pass the time. So feel free to drop that link. Let's see who all wants to come on. And I don't know. I was trying to figure out what would be a good, talking point today. What would, it's just one of those days where I was kind of like, man, now I understand how writers feel when they have writer's block. I don't know. And then, of course, well, apparently we went through the ice last night.
Whoops.
And no water. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't turn.
It's just, I don't know. Even the best of us have those days where I just, we have a bar show and I just don't feel like drinking tonight. Which kind of takes away from me, like, I love being able to mix drinks, like, and sit down and do you ever have those days where you just, there's nothing there? I've got nothing today. I don't know. Weird. But on that note, of course, you can always go with, personal. I mean, trust me, there's content everywhere. Whether it be at work. I was going to tell you earlier, we were actually going to kind of surprise you today. Whereas we were supposed to move that over to the garage and then move some stuff around here and kind of make it a little more, and nothing. Can't say I blame him. I mean, I hate the fact that I guarantee he had to go to Pittsburgh today and the roads were just absolute horrid. So I'm sure once he got back, the last thing on his mind was coming in here and moving a giant metal box in the snow 30 yards from the house. It was just kind of, for me, like a sit back and kind of do a rewind. Sit down, recharge the batteries, and get things. And I couldn't. We've talked about this before. The motivation just really, again, was not there. Is it? Maybe am I going too hard on Wednesday nights and taking advantage of those? Sometimes. I didn't last week. And yet Thursday rolled around and I was just kind of like, I'm looking at the door. I know I got to go somewhere. I know I should be doing some stuff. And I couldn't get the motivation going. And that's when things really start getting interesting, because then you're like, man, I say we're going to do a 5th day. Do I not want to do it? I'm just, it had nothing to do with that at all. Didn't question whether or not to do it. It was just kind of like, needs done. But again, motivation to get it moving, get started. I mean, I guess the first step is, for me, it's always coffee. I didn't even drink my first cup of coffee until like 3:00 in the afternoon. That was my day. Yes.
You made coffee.
Oh yeah, when I went in a little while ago, I put her down.
Okay.
I don't know. Even the best of us is just kind of like, ugh. And is it the weather? Is it the, what's going on? Because I've noticed even at work, it's taken me a little while longer to get moving, get motivated, get started. And I don't know. It's almost like I'm again, writer's block. I can't get that drive that, I've had for how long? It seemed like New Year's Eve kicked in, was so excited about it. And then right afterwards, I just kind of went, oh. I see your,
You're getting old.
Well, okay. So if you guys weren't able to hear that, that is a good point.
You spend November and December running around like chickens with your heads cut off between the holidays and family and this going on and that going on and doing this and doing that, and then all of a sudden January sets in and the weather gets horrible and the skies turn grayer and everybody just wants to hibernate, and it's just like, whew, I made it through November, made it through December, so January is.
So we should mic her up. I mean, that's as good a theory as any, honestly. I mean, hell, I was wanting to, we got an early jump tonight, still went on late. And I'm like, man, we were all ahead of the game. We were so far ahead. We could have actually went on earlier. All of us would have got the opportunity to, go in, go home, whatever. Just take it a chill. I don't know. It's one of those. But the problem is, I don't want to stop. I can't because if I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to say, all right, time to take a break, and then the hardest part is starting back up because you get accustomed to that relaxation after, you know. So, like you said, the older you get, you start thinking about stuff like that, and it's like I know better than to do that. So I don't know.
But the older you get, sometimes turning everything off and letting yourself regenerate gives you more, like a better word, stamina to be able to. It always is better to take that break and give yourself a breath than to keep pushing, because if you keep pushing through everything, then sometimes it'll.
I'm listening. I don't have a long enough USB cord to charge myself up. Don't feel bad over there. We do the same thing to Blue when he.
It's literally, if you spend every day from morning until night going and going and going, which is normally what I do, well, then come November, I didn't have a car to go and do and do and do. So I had to sit and just kind of cars back up, moving, running, and now I'm back to go. And it's sometimes you got to take that. That's the car getting broke.
Well, bear in mind, it
might
was.
have been, the.
We're also coming up on the 4-year anniversary of me wrecking my truck, and I immediately I found a way to keep running. So, I mean, for me to shut down and take that break, look at when me and Steve went to the Outer Banks, that was supposed to be vacation. And what did we do? Posted videos, went live, just, I don't know. Maybe it's, and I agree. I mean, sometimes, you do need to sit back, but, it's kind of like at work. And especially right now with adding stuff to, medical, I did the math. For me, I would have to work like 5 hours over just to keep going where I'm at now. And, with it coming into the slow part of the season, like, I mean, we've been absolutely just slow. We'll get, sporadically steady, but not busy. And if I'm not getting that overtime, if I'm not working like I am, I feel like I'm losing money. So it's kind of like doing this. I know where, last night I loved it, had a blast, and wish we could do that more, because it feels like at times, I mean, it kind of does feel stagnant. Like tonight, I was trying to, where am I going to go with this? What do I got? I'm sitting down, I'm like, boy, tonight would have been a good night, and they'd have gave it, I almost said, hey, kitty cat, let's finish the bar tonight instead of going live. That way, when we do have the guests come in, it's not a half-assed looking, Yeah, I keep thinking that there's still so much to do. And I don't know. I guess burnout is probably the good word for it, honestly. I mean, not to say that last year we did take a break just so we could get, everything revamped, and even that was a pain in the ass.
The thing with me at home. I can sit there and I can tell you probably 12,000 different things that need done at my house.
I got that too.
They were needed done last month and the month before, but it was one of those things where I'm doing and doing and doing when I am at home. It's just like I just don't want to deal with it. I need that sit down and vegetate and just I'm still to the point where and you can ask
The nosebleeds.
the nosebleeds. I sit down for longer than a few minutes and I'm snoring logs, and it's not that I intend to. It's just my body finally says, "You're done."
You know what's funny about you saying that? Like like I said, I didn't even have my first cup of coffee today until 3 o'clock. And I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about the show. I'm thinking about, I need to go somewhere. I'm not getting out in this weather. So I'm like, okay, I'm already reserving myself to be here. So what can I be doing right now? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna catch up on my Yellowstone. So I sat down and started watching that. I wasn't even tired. And this is what finally, hey, go get your coffee. I literally was just sitting there watching TV, and I blinked and the episode was over. So I crashed and didn't even realize it. The second time it happened, even after the coffee, yeah, I love my cat. For whatever reason, I guess he thought the shirt needed, needing. So I got the claws. I'm like, okay, maybe that's a sign. Okay, get motivated, get moving, get going.
Dad's ready to smoke.
It's not just the show. I sit there and I think, we've got these books. I'm started on 2 different books, and then I turn around and get 2 more. And it's like, is that me? Do I just sit there and instead of finishing, have I gotten to the point where instead of finishing a project, I'm just gonna, just keep piling on, piling on, piling on. And
So I love Dan. I absolutely love Dan. I love Dan. But I'm not that big on the sci-fi, and you know that.
right.
I still keep, but I get confused. But then we got KD's. Nightmare and Smoke's already done. I already finished that. I started it literally that night when we were sitting here. I started reading just to get an idea and started reading it. I went home and I got all but 2 chapters done before I went to bed that night. And I got up the next morning and finished it. I just couldn't wait. So that book's already done. Now I have to do that. And I'm literally forcing myself to not touch that one right now because it's not that big of a book. But I know if I get through it, I'm going to want more. Because it's something that keeps my brain alive. And I can understand more of those type than I can the sci-fi stuff, because the sci-fi stuff leaves my brain. It really does just kind of give me kind of a headache because I go all sorts of ways because I overanalyze things.
Let's give her some food. Maybe that'll, just you keep working on your art. You're doing amazing. Yeah, I bet. We know enough artists, here they'll help guide you through. But
So Riley nonchalantly got a little bit of a life lesson today. Riley's been working very hard. He's been saving his money, and yes, he's been helping with groceries or with gas or with this or that and Christmas, different things like that kind of thing. But he'll go, and when he's at work, he'll grab himself snacks or grab this or that kind of thing. And he's helped with grabbing a few groceries here or there, things that we've run out of that we needed or whatever. He'll pick up things. But he decided today, knowing everything's really, we don't have any extra And today's Dad's birthday, so he's going to take us out to eat for Dad's birthday. And it wasn't like we went and got plates that cost $20 a person or anything like that. But he found out it's not so easy to take a family of 5 out to eat to a sit-down restaurant that's not McDonald's.
So 2 things. Let me chime in on that one for you, buddy. I feel for you. So yesterday, I spent almost 150 at Ichiban the other day.
Yeah, this was
Well,
family tradition. It's not
yeah,
that expensive.
I know, and bear with me here. So yesterday, 2 things. The only thing I ate all day was chili cheese dogs from Dairy Queen and a slice of cake, by the way. So that probably didn't help certain aspects of everything. But I went out and I thought, why is it Dairy Queen? I thought, Mike's birthday was Monday. And he's been bouncing around to other stores. We finally had an opportunity, and I thought, let's do this. Why not? $38 for a cake that's only about that big around. $38. And like I said, we took Connor out. There's 4 of us. It was almost 100 and I'd have to go back and look at the receipt, but yeah, it was like $130, $140. A couple weeks ago, just going to MLH, I found that receipt again. That was almost $200 that night, and we were there for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, the prices of things are just, yeah. And it's so. When it's the kids and mom and dad are taking them out, and okay, do whatever, get whatever you want. It's your day, that kind of thing. But when you worked and saved the money, and you worked for that money in your account, and you saved, and you see that much going out, that's just like, wow. But how much of that little light bulb went on and said, wow, mom and dad do this for us all the time. Wow.
Connor, guys, please.
I'm just, it's just a lot of people take little things like that for granted.
At times you almost want to feel like Scrooge, where the man was making money hand over fist, and even his lifestyle, we've all seen the movie, we've all read the book, he had a nice house, the whole deal, but he lived the poverty lifestyle because he didn't want to spend money. And
Take it with you,
huh?
you can't take it with you.
No, you can't. And there's always going to be that sting. Always going to be that sting when you go out and you spend, and then you don't think about it at the time. It's like, oh boy, that was okay. Then a couple days later, like, a bill will come in or something. It's like, I mean, was it what, a week ago? $300. I was cool with it because, obviously New Year's, everything was good, had the cash. And I thought, well, I'm trying to coordinate. I knew we were going to go do Saturday and everything. So I want to make sure. And, that little bit I put on the card was kind of, well, ain't that something? Oh, and that's the fun one too. But no, I mean, I don't mind, yeah, you make money to spend money. But I just kind of, what? No, guys, breathe. Okay, thank you. No, we're still going on the other one. So, I mean, we haven't ended that yet. It's off. It's on. It's off. It's on. I don't know. You know, that would explain a lot, though, because I'm sitting there, I'm watching like everything going good, and then all of a sudden, boom, it dipped. So this might be a good opportunity to, you can get. Let's go ahead and we'll take a break and check out our technical difficulties and see what the hell's going on. Good call. Let us go with, this is Resist the Temptation with the Loudest Silence, guys. Yes, we promised we would push this video. We need more. We need.
Through the years they hushed us, mutiny against the muted tongue, living bodies we don't own, a player power since we were
Oh, I was starting to wonder there for a second. That was an awfully long pause. Guys, welcome back. Welcome back to our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots. To our Facebook people on our page, I apologize for that. We have no idea what happened. So luckily we're back up and going, and yeah, business as usual. So it literally just cut like the last minute, apparently, of the conversation. So either way, ugh. And there's our cheering section. Ugh. I think the last thing we were talking about, though, is, so here's the fun thing. What do you do? What do you personally do to motivate yourself to get going? I mean, when you have those days where you're just kind of, you sit down for that 2 seconds, you said you're snoring, you have to do it. What kind of motivates you to finally step out the door? Sometimes, like, for me, sometimes it's something as simple as, somebody making a phone call, hey, or
So when let's say there's a bunch of stuff piled up at the house that I need to get done, but I don't have any oomph, and I just would rather it just not get done, kind of thing. So that's when I wrap in one of my friends, and I will go get them, pick them up. Whether they're sitting there talking to me, or we're playing music, or whether we're working stuff together, or just somebody there talking to me, keeping me going. That's usually helpful. Honestly, lately, this is pretty much what's been keeping me. I could sit at home all day, all night in my jammies, never even getting out of my jammies, and just sit there snuggled with my dogs, especially in this weather. Snuggle with my dogs, doing absolutely nothing. Oh, well, shoot. It's 4:30, 5 o'clock. I should probably go get some clothes on. I need to get into the studio and get stuff set up. I got to make dinner before I go. So honestly, Blue is a big help, because if anything, I get up and get moving just to get him to leave me alone.
hello, Miss Nancy. How you doing?
He'll sit there and, babe, and he gives me literally what time it is every 5 minutes until I finally get up, just to get him to be quiet.
Yeah, on my day off, I got nobody at the house, which is why I liked, Christmas break. It's been awesome. I am doing fantastic, and just living our best life. No, it was kind of nice having both kids at home and, hanging out with them, because I'll tell you what, it is. I both like and dislike that, one of them's out, he's a college kid now. He's out and about now. I'm like everybody else. I still worry, he feels like because he's got a vehicle and he's 19. Yeah, he's getting that, he's got the 19 attitude. That's for damn sure. Who didn't? We had it all figured out. We've got they spent 19 years looking at us going, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. And now I'm 19. Oh, yeah, on paper, you're an adult. But then he, like I said, took off for, oh, yeah. He took off for Christmas. Gone. Just because he could. That he loves, and that's another big thing. I remember when I turned 18, 19, I'm like, shit, I got freedom. I no sooner graduated and left The very next day, I took my first trip to Tennessee, but I followed my mom down. And then on the way back, this is before we had, GPS on our phones and TomTom and all that. It used to have the little AAA flip. So you're supposed to keep up with, where you're at and keep up in the book at the same time. And let me put it this way. I never got off of 81 and ended up in Harrisburg, almost to Gettysburg. So then we thought, okay, well, we made it to PA. I knew something was up when I'm like, man, it seems like we've been in Virginia for an awful long time. And then, wait, did that say Maryland? And then it's like, it just didn't seem right. And I'm like, at some point we're supposed to be getting off 81. And then before you knew it, hey, look, we're crossing into Pennsylvania. Wait a minute, where the hell are we? We stopped at a rest area and I looked at the map and the "you are here" just like, smacked me in the face. Needless to say, my, she's a former friend. She goes, we'll just take the turnpike all the way back. And I'm like, well, this looks like this. If we go this way, it'd be, oh no, it's going to be faster. Just go. And I'm like, sure. Because, even at her age, she was one of those ones that she's worse than a 2-year-old. If you went against her, if you said anything otherwise, she would throw the world's biggest temper tantrum and then go into shutdown mode. So naturally, I'm like, hey, okay, it says if we take this, no, we're in Pittsburgh. Let's go ahead and get off here. Yeah. Let me put it this way. I got, a crash course in, the fun areas of Pittsburgh, trying to find my way back.
Lou does that almost every time he takes me to the airport on his way home. There's always construction, and he always misses this exit or that exit, so he always ends up, yeah.
But one of the things I've tried to tell him is just because you can do it doesn't mean you need to. You've got plenty of time. Okay, no. Now you're going to elaborate on that.
You can't guarantee that.
Why not? And if you take a dark turn, we're going to have a real fun conversation.
It's a dark turn. You can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee that I'll wake up in the morning.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't know. So you need to live every day as if it were your last.
Said the person that, sits in their comfy clothes, which you caught me twice now. That's the thing. How's that living your life?
But it is, because I'm surrounded by my loved ones.
Your dogs, yeah.
No.
And your kids.
Exactly.
Nah. It's just also like at work, just because we can fix that flat, we can't guarantee that it's going to, just because you can do it doesn't mean you need to do it, because now it's fucking with your stuff now, isn't it? And I bring that up because we have a certain, parameter standard that we have to follow when fixing flats.
Did you see the post one of our mutual friends made about the other store over in another town?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Same store you work at, but in a different town.
All right.
And sure enough, he pulled in and had a flat, and they refused to fix it for him. So he's, okay, can I borrow your tools to fix it myself? And they wouldn't help him either with that.
I have to look at this post. I wasn't there because there's times we've told people there's not much we can do without, but you needing a new tire.
He ended up taking it to another place and getting it taken care of. So now he's, of course, bad mouthing.
Was it, like I said, I don't know what was wrong with the tire, what, It could have been a million different things for them to shut it down. Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. We also, not all stores are the same. Trust me, we've fixed other stores. They'd be like, yeah, we went to this one, so we came to this one, and we fixed it.
Well, he's from here. I don't know why he went there, but
Yes, I'm never gonna sit there and say I'm not gonna wake up and I might not wake up, tomorrow. Because if that be the case, then that justifies me. I come out here and drink every night. I could party every night. I could take my entire paycheck and blow it because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I mean, you can't. That's just not yeah, death and taxes, they always say, is the only two constants. What you looking up? You trying to find it?
Yeah.
But no, like I said, just because you can do something doesn't mean you need to. That's one of the reasons why, Miss Nancy says, you're right. We never know. I just, to me, I can't live, with that type of mindset. Because then that takes away, there's always tomorrow, which every one of us uses. So let's not pick and choose, analogies because they, for when, they suit us for this particular moment. That's my thought on it. Now, here's the shot. Oof. Yeah, I made sure to eat today. Oof. But like I said, I mean, that freedom, it is seductive because you feel like you want to do everything all at once, and that's why, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was hard on my kids, but I did it so they didn't make the same mistakes I did, and he's already leap years ahead of me. I went to a community college. He got to graduate on time. He went to a community college. He didn't have to bounce around from state to state and house to house and, school to school. We made sure to do vacations and I made sure to, reward him when he did good. I made sure, and we do this with Kaylin too. Now, granted, the vacations need to be a lot more with her because she's got some catching up to do. But the one thing I can say, and it kind of goes along with what you said, you blink and they're gone. I got one. Maybe it's that empty nest kind of kicking in on me. That's supposed to be, a mom thing, and I just, that he's little man. I just it's always, and I'm with you when surrounded by the loved ones. Like I said, I love hanging out with these guys. I do. But now I'm also watching him, and Caitlin's starting to get into this. Now that she's got her phone and she's middle school and she's got her best life, she'll go up to her room and spend the entire evening up there. So there's pros and cons to this for me. The con is like, I want to hang out with my little girl, I want to hang out with my kid, but then it's like, hey babe, we got the TV. Pick something.
see, it's different in our house.
Uh-oh.
The TV in the living room is blues. Plain and simple, it's blues. Whether I'm there or whether the kids are all out there, it's Blue's choice. Now he's gotten better over the last 25 years, compromising, so we watch certain shows together. But if I don't have time to sit down because I'm busy with dinner or doing this or doing that or doing this or doing whatever, I don't have time to sit down and watch. Him and Liz have different shows they'll watch together. Or he'll just go to his normal where we've seen his stuff, but it's not going to kill us if we miss a few minutes. You know what I mean? The only time we actually get to pick what's on the TV ourselves is when he's not there. Yeah, if he comes home and there's still like 15 minutes left of what it is we're watching, he'll let us finish watching it. But we usually have to boo-hoo.
I just kind of, let's not turn this into a man bashing woman,
No, I'm just saying that
yeah.
the TV in the living room is hit. That's if we want to watch something different, then we have TVs in other rooms. We can go.
So let me help you guys out. Blue, one of the things that I do is I try to promote Sarah. I'll hand her the remote and I'll be like, pick something, babe. But
Oh no, he asks me all the time, what do you want to watch?
as long as it's,
But we have to pick what. Yeah.
I kind of, thank you. I tried to broaden my horizon. I mean, obviously, I'm like him. I love sports. I love horror movies. I love action. So, I mean, those are like but I'm not, I don't mind sitting down watching comedies. Obviously, I love comedies. But rom-coms, love rom-coms, believe it or not. Yeah, I'll go to sleep watching a damn rom-com. It's just.
But he is very particular on certain things. And if it's a movie, and if he's already seen it, but it could have been 10 years ago that he saw it. No, he's not watching it again. I have a whole bunch of movies that I purchased, movies that I grew up on, that I wanted to be able to watch with my kids. The Great Outdoors.
Yes.
The Caddyshack.
Love them.
I bought for Riley for one of his birthdays because he's a October baby. The Alfred Hitchcock series. We have The Birds. We have.
Uh-oh. What was that one?
Yeah,
Say it again.
The Birds. Yeah, that's. But there's a bunch of different movies that I got. Yep. No, he's not. Not watched any of them with us. We always do it on nights that we know when he's not there. That's when we get to do movie night.
What about you, Nancy? You and Carl, your evenings. I mean, you guys share the TV. What is it you guys do to, we need to show her how to pick, do the link, that way she can pop on here sometime. And she's fun. Oh, you ought to see us at the reunions or the cousin luncheon or whatever. See, here's where me and Sarah kind of fall apart. There's been many a times like, somebody crunched it down on it. It's over the. There we go. There's over the breather. Evenings. Remember the conversation I was having with Sandy. Evenings for me. So there's been multiple times where I'm like, all right, babe, I'm going to shower, go in, pick a movie. And, we don't go to bed at the same time. Used to, but we don't go to bed at the same time. And she's actually gotten a lot better at wanting to make sure she's in bed by like 10:30. Sometimes, no, this is where the TV falls in. Sometimes we'll be watching something and she will sacrifice and, she'll get into it, especially if we watch Californication. That is the one show that her and I will sit down and binge watch. Both of us loved it. I could not believe that she actually fell in love with that type of show. I'm telling you, you need to watch it. But, she's like, okay, so there's times she's like, how about we just watch this in the room? I'm like, okay, I'll go get my shower, turn the TV on, so on and so forth. I'll go in, either the lights out or she's on her phone just sitting there. It's like, you're making it a hard read. Are you not wanting to watch something now? I would have thought for some, somebody wanted to kind of keep a time frame, you'd have had this set up and ready. I'm gonna be gone for like 20 minutes. That's all it usually takes me to take a shower and get into the room. But I don't, for me, I love sleep, but I don't ever want to go to bed. And like I said before, for me, it's kind of I don't want it to end yet. Again, how we're recharging our batteries. Well, 9 times out of 10 for me, recharging my batteries is like the very evening when at the time of the evening when everybody else is trying to go to bed. Hell, Connor and Kaylin go to bed on a more regular schedule. Kaylin will actually just say, okay, I'm going to bed. I can't give myself a bedtime anymore.
There are nights where it's okay. I need to go to bed, and I get up and I can go to bed. And there are nights where we're sitting there watching something, and all right, so that episode's done. I'm still wide awake.
Exactly.
I haven't started dozing. I haven't started falling asleep, and he's turning everything off. It's time to go to bed. I love you, babe, but again, you're not my dad. You're my husband. If I'm not ready to go to bed, but that's the thing. He won't go to bed without me. He can't sleep without me.
And yet, your nickname's Mama Cat. How many times have I used that? I'm like, Cat.
But I don't love him.
Yeah, all the rest of us get the love and attention. Geez, man, I need to just do this on a regular. I start getting more chatty. My creative starts going. Hey, sorry about that, folks.
So there'll be a night you're there whenever he'll actually go to bed. Okay, I'll be in a few minutes, and I'm sitting on my phone watching something or playing a game or something to help him out, and I've fallen asleep either outside or in my chair because I wasn't quite ready to go, and he has to wake me up, and that's when he gets agitated. So that's why he doesn't want to go to bed now unless I'm going to bed right then and there, because I will fall asleep, and once I fall asleep, just leave me sleep. Do not make me get up and go to bed, because then I get cranky and irritable. Just leave me alone. Let me sleep.
It's spooky. I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. And Sarah's the same way as Blue. She'll come over and she'll be like, babe, just come to bed. And at that point, I'm already like, Or here's the other thing. I'll tell you what. I'll come to bed. Let me just finish this up real quick. And then I'll make the cardinal mistake of laying down on one of the couches in there. And I'll wake up knowing I should be in bed and just be like it. I don't know how many times I've gone to bed wearing the jeans and the pants and or the socks and just out cold. And then, God forbid, my alarm clock, folks, dies because I've sat there and I'm watching something until I fall asleep. And now my phone's dead. So Sarah's like, I haven't heard. She'll wake me up in the morning and be like, I didn't hear your alarm. But here's what's weird. So when I do stuff like that, I'm more energetic because I'll get up, I'll get a shower. I'm actually more inclined to go in a little earlier. Now, yeah, this is starting to become a real bad habit. I'll be the first to admit. Hooper, I'm sure you'll be watching at some point. It's gotten to the point where I'll go in. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make a cup of coffee. I'm going right back. And then one person says hello. The other one says hello. Then it's like, did you see the game? Did you hear about this? What about this? And Or sometimes I'll even make the mistake, dude, this movie, I love it. And then we'll start talking about that. Before you know it, I've been standing there for like, 10, 15 minutes and drinking on a cup of coffee, just talking to these guys. I'm like, I need to get back there. And I'll get back and it's either loaded up or completely dead. And it's like, okay, I'm trying to fix that. And, like I'll go over to the mechanic side now. All day Monday, we were so slow that I went over there trying to get me to do alignments now. So I did like 3 alignments. I basically shadowed Ray, which is him and Shannon's going Saturday. But I think one of the things that kind of motivated me there was I was learning something new. And let's go back, let's go full circle with this now. On here, like I said earlier, I feel like at times we're going stagnant. Hence the reason, just that 20-second video I do right beforehand, the promo, I try to switch it up and then it's like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. How many times have I said this? Sounds good in the head. And then as soon as you start talking, it's like, it does not come out the way. And, so I'm with you when you say, you sound like a robot at this point. I'm constantly, I need something to, to kind of break the monotony, the habit, and I tell myself, you'd be surprised at how many times I tell myself, like tonight, folks, I'm going to say it right now, we're not going on TikTok. I didn't think you were going to be too opposed to that. We love TikTok. We have a blast on there, but, especially after a night like we had last night, we could take a chill for a second. And I keep saying, I already told Sarah, I'm like, I'll come in, we'll go upstairs, I'll go up, let's get a shower, and we can either sit down on the couch and watch something because it's going to be early enough, or, here it comes again, put something on. But then, it's already happened. I'm like, what if I sat down and read one of those books? I can continue on one of the books. Sandy, what's going on, beautiful? We literally, just 3 sentences ago referenced Saturday. So let's ask real quick. Did you guys get it covered? We do have karaoke because unfortunately it fell flat on my side. Could not talk, I couldn't talk 2 friends into it. They were already booked. I was going to get a hold of Sean. And I already found out that he's, if he's not at the Rock House, he's booked months in advance. So, you know what I mean? I'm picky when it comes to the karaoke. But like I said, I've already started talking myself out of it. I'm like, okay, instead of watching a movie, maybe her and I could sit down and I'll give her one of the books that KD said. She can read the first one and I can continue on with one of the 2 books I've already started, She's either going to love it or hate it, which is everything. I'm like, okay, what about a movie? Well, we're both real big into the 80s. You mentioned it earlier. You've got a whole bunch of movies that you grew up watching. Well, same here. Hence the reason we've got, 4 different, 5 different subscriptions, because each one of them has something on there that, I grew up watching. I got Paramount and Kaylin fell in love with Double Dare. She absolutely loved it. Now I tried to get her into some of the other shows and she just, I don't know, that particular one set the bar high for her. We introduced her to Family Matters. We binge watched that entire, the whole thing from first to last episode.
So my mini me got attached to Full House. We watched every possible Full House they had. So then they had Fuller House.
Oh, I hated it. Full House loved.
Fuller House, well, she was able to relate more because it was obviously, but
well,
different things like that.
I don't know. We okay. So remember Boy Meets World? Everybody loved it. Who did not fall in love with Topanga? Like, and she was supposed to be a bit character, just like Urkel was only supposed to be a bit character. And these two characters like took off, and before you knew it, they were a part of it. You know, they were one of the main. You know, they became one of the main characters. Full House. We turned around and tried to watch, what was it? Girl Meets World, or however they did another little spinoff, and it wasn't the same.
There's another one now that Elizabeth started watching. It's Boy Meets World, but it's them grown up.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's like Girl Meets World or something like that. It's like it's a different.
One. Yeah, it's newer.
You know, it turns out Corey and Topanga, they're married, they have kids of their own, and
other little spin-offs.
That's why I couldn't get into Full House, because, you know, we just talked about it the other night. MTV's gone. You know, it's kind of like watching your childhood just fizzle out.
Was a show Steve was watching the other day, and it brought up something about MTV. And I was like, yeah, there is no more MTV. And he's like, well, that has nothing to do with, what are you, it just out of the blue. My brain remembers things.
Speaking of Miss Sandy, at some point, she's gone. At some point, I'd love to have like Sandy, Dave, have them come over, and we need to do the playback on last night to see how the music sounded. Wasn't happy.
I did. When we were talking, absolutely no problems whatsoever. As soon as he played the first song, it was in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then the talking was good again. And then the next song, it was still in and out, but not as bad as the first one.
Makes you wonder.
So I think I know what the problem was. I think because the guitar and him singing, and it was fighting between the different mics.
And that's why I turned mine off and then forgot to turn it back on.
To figure out where, but yeah, so it ended up working out, but
we tried.
It's glitchy, so we'll have to figure that one out a little better.
Get some friends come over and
for next time, yes.
But on that note, I think we've done our due diligence tonight. Guys, make sure you check us out Sunday night for the Sunday Night Weekend Hangover. One of us in here probably will not be that bad off. I have a sneaking suspicion, especially when, you know, the people that are going.
I'll be fine.
Bill's going to be living his best life. Let's go ahead and, you know that's going to happen. It's going to be just.
Are we having a Monday night bartender?
What, because the college? That's the championship.
No, because it's your birthday.
Why not? Shit, we'll get on there and celebrate some more. I should have told Mike that I wanted Tuesday off just so I could relax, but I don't feel like, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, that to me it's just ugh. Mm-hmm. Monday night bartender, yeah, why not? You know, we'll do a birthday celebration on here for the fun of it. I don't care at all to celebrate with friends and family. If anything, it'll be good content at the end of the day. I will say I got a weird question the other day from somebody. They're like, how do you like cognac? And I went, I think I've only had it once. Honestly, it's either once or twice. I can't remember. But I know for a fact that cognac's another one of those, you get what you pay for. You better make sure it's,
Top shelf.
hey, it doesn't have to be top shelf, but
And it's always better heated.
that makes it interesting. But yes, Monday night, thank you for reminding me. Not only are we going to be doing our Monday night bartender, maybe we need a special guest bartender in here that night. Maybe I get to sit on that side for a change. But not only is it going to be a fun, I can see this being a fun show. We've got a little bit of time to get something set up, but I hadn't lost it that fast. Yeah, anyways. Dead air.
Welcome to my world.
What was I saying? You know, oh, literally just said it. This is the age kicking in, and the comment that's about to be said goes right along with it. Yours truly will be a year older that day, and I'll be 4 years away from the big 5-0.
Blue's only a year away from that big.
Oh, and I'm telling you, when he hits 50, we're doing something. We are doing something. That man, if he remembers that birthday, I think like 50, especially that's a big milestone for me. That's I mean, you've lived half a century when you think about it. Looking at those terms, yeah, celebrate. How many of us have said, how I'm alive today, I don't know, with some of the stupid shit we've done back in our younger days. How about not so younger days, like, you know, leaving a concert with a buddy and neither one of you should be driving a vehicle. And then he later on admits, oh, by the way, so we were up on the hillside and that's what woke me up. Man, we could do a whole show on reflections. Hence the reason I love having my own bar.
One time at band camp.
Oh. So yes, guys, Monday Night Bartender is going to be a good one. We'll start working on it. Jot down some notes, compare some stuff. We got our Wednesday night open bar coming up. Thursday thoughts and shots. We round it all out. So on that one, guys, go in, relax, have a good rest of your evening. Thank you all for popping in, Miss Sandy, Miss Nancy. Kitty Cat, always a blast. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion. But then again,
It could just be the alcohol talking.
oof, that was about a 1.5 on that one. I was sipping that and didn't even think about it. Guys, have a good night. Cheers.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloading. The bar is always open, but no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it